Welcome back to the John Mendola Show on WILK. Coming up on 10:36 as we welcome in the Holy Redeemer Royals basketball team. They are the district champs, and head coach Paul Guido with us today with a handful of his players. And Paul, you guys did it. Congratulations. You guys are district champs, and talk about that experience the other night at the arena. Feel pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it felt great, John. Thanks for having us in today, and thanks for everything that you do for local sports here in the area. It's a great thing, and it was just a great opportunity for us, and I'm happy that these guys had the confidence to take advantage of that opportunity. Everything went well for us the other night.
Boy, Mid-Valley, a team that, you talk to Coach Abda, they're a talented team and like 20 wins, something like that, but a lot of guys that were kind of under that 6-foot mark. They played bigger than they were. Talk about the feistiness between them, because they're a bunch of scrappers there at Mid-Valley. You guys had to grind your way on your end as well to kind of beat them.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely are a feisty, scrappy group. They may be a little bit undersized, but they definitely play tough to overcome that lack of size that they have. And that was something that we knew and were prepared for going in. I said to a couple of the guys from the media after the game, it was a low-scoring affair, and I said I didn't know if it was part of the venue and the arena and not being able to make shots, or if it was just, two very good teams, especially defensively, really just grinding on each other. And those guys kind of thought it was definitely the defensive intensity from both teams that made it tough for both teams to score. But, we matched that intensity, which was something that we talked about and wanted to do going in, and I was happy that we were able to do that the other night.
You go through the course of a season, and you're playing teams that are pretty darn good during the year. And there's times, I'm sure, as a coach, your confidence gets a little shaken. But you've got to be the steady. You got to get these guys through it and find a way and say, guys, we're going to keep fighting this fight. And here you are. You're the district champions.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. Certainly wasn't easy throughout different parts of the year. We had a bunch of close games that we could rattle off. Myers and GAR, Crestwood, Berwick, Wyoming area, all pretty good teams, and all teams that we were right there with into the fourth quarter. And for one reason or another, different things on different nights couldn't get over the hump. So it was an ongoing battle, an ongoing struggle. The good thing, or the easy thing for me about it, was these guys are great. I have a great bunch of guys. They're part great, part crazy, man. And, they may struggle for a little bit on the bus ride going home, and then the next day they get in the gym, and you can't tell if they won or lost the next day. They're just ready to attack each day individually as each day as it goes. So makes it much easier for me as a coach. There is not much of a hangover or a struggle from them as far as, oh, man, we're in the dumps, and we're going to take 3 or 4 days to get through this. They're ready to go each and every day pretty much.
We got a few guys we're going to talk with this morning here on the show, guys doing some great things there at Holy Redeemer. Coach, tell us a little bit about J.D. Tarosky and what he brings.
J.D. Tarosky is probably the toughest guy that we have on our team physically, and probably the strongest guy that we have on our team weight room-wise, and he's the only guy on our team that has that football player mentality and that football player background on him. So he definitely brings that toughness and that intensity and competitiveness to our team, but also he's a big kid, height-wise and weight-wise, so he adds a nice dimension for us down inside, and he and our other big guy, Nick Prochak, have really developed a nice rapport and have really played very well together when they're on the court at the same time, so he brings a lot to our team.
All right, let's welcome in J.D. Tarosky here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. And J.D., Coach mentioned a little bit about that physical part. To talk about your role in trying to impact everyone on your team to say, let's get more physical.
I'm more of like a rebound and like defender, but like in practice when me and Nick can go out in the post and Luke, I think it really helps them like in a game, like absorb the contact and still finish.
And as far as the feeling the other night at the arena, talk about taking that whole atmosphere in and actually being a guy down there on the floor and being the competitor instead of the fan.
It's pretty crazy because that atmosphere is so different. Like, it's such a big facility and all that. It's a lot different than playing in like a small gym.
Your fan base there at Holy Redeemer, you guys have a student section like nobody else. Talk a little bit about them getting after it and helping you guys out.
The student section really helps us with staying alive in the game. Like, if we get down, they'll rile us back up and we'll get back into the game, even if we're down by like 10 points or something.
The Red Sea, yeah. Yes. You see all the tweets from that Red Sea, by the way. Thank you. The Red Sea came in to hit a couple buttons, I think, here as well, Coach. See, the parting of the Red Sea I think you're going to have. Let's, JD, talk about any spring sports going on for you. Or you're going to kind of just hit that weight room once basketball season is over.
Well, last year I played baseball, but I'm not going to do that this year. But I am going to play AAU, but also lift for football and all that.
All right, well, we wish you the best of luck, and go get him, okay?
Thank you.
All right, Coach, we have another guy we're going to move on to, Jason Stachokis, and tell us a little about Jason.
Yeah, Jason is another big-time competitor for our team, brings a lot of intensity and adds that edge to us, certainly in practice and also in the games. My coaches and I sometimes will butt heads with him throughout the course of the season, but only because competitiveness, man. He gets into it and he wants to play 32 minutes every single night and wants to participate in practice for 2 full hours every single day. And trying to get him to turn that off is difficult at times, but that's a good problem to have with him. And he's a great kid, great student. A bunch of these guys were also over this morning, John, at the soup kitchen down in Wilkes-Barre, volunteering their time this morning. So, I mean, that says a lot about where they're at and what they're involved in as well.
Yeah, the message there at Holy Redeemer, of course, it is the season of Lent, and a great thing for guys like this. Let's welcome in Jason Stachokis here on the John Mendola Show. And, Jason, talk a little bit about that part of giving back to your community, helping out your fellow man, and what this morning was all about for you guys.
Yeah, it was nice. A few of us went over there and we did it. But it's more for our school. Everybody there helps us out, so we have to help them back out.
And as far as the basketball for you, how much fun are you having with this group of guys? And as we mentioned with Coach earlier, things weren't a perfect season, but you're going to go through some challenges during a season when you're playing great competition. As long as you finish where you want, and you guys finished as the district champs.
Yeah, it was really fun this year. This year was one of our better teams that we had throughout my high school career. We had a few close games that we just let go by us, and it would have been nice if we won them, but we had a really good year this year, I think.
Talk about some of the guards that played this year and played well for you, other than yourself.
Actually, all of our backcourt, me, Joey, James, Colin could play the guard too. Bryce comes off the bench, he plays well in there. And a few of the guys on the bench too that are going to be up next year, they play very good in practice and everything, so I think we'll be set for next year too.
That senior year, so the plans for the future for you?
Next year, I'll play basketball in college, and after this season's over, I'll look to lift and get ready for next year, get stronger, get faster. And I'm actually young for a senior, so I might play a little bit of AAU.
All right. Well, sounds like a fun time. How about what do you expect this week at practice as you guys prepare for the state tournament?
We're still going to grind it out. We're not done yet. But we have to get ready for our next game. We have to really push each other in practice. It won't be an easy one.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming in today, and good luck in the future plans playing ball in college. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Jason Stachokis here on the John Mendola Show, and Coach, we got another guy in this segment we're going to talk to, James Kosick. Tell us a little bit about James.
Yeah. Same thing for James. He's a senior, definitely a leader. Pretty much has been our one-man captain throughout the course of the year. They have those captains meetings before the games, and I think a lot of these guys would rather skip that and take the opportunity to get loose and get warm and get ready in the warm-ups and get familiar with the rims in the gym on an away game. But James is the guy that kind of steps up, and he's our speaking captain every game and participates in those captains meetings for us. So he's a leader there for us, and definitely a leader on the court for us in practice and in games, and definitely a leader off the court as well. Great student, involved in the community, involved in everything in the school. Was another guy, again, like we said, that was over at the soup kitchen volunteering his time this morning as well. So I'm super proud of these guys just coming off a great win and a district championship. They probably have every opportunity here to be fat-headed and blow things like that off, but these guys just won't do that. That's not how they are. They're right out there and involved in everything else.
Well, great to hear that balance that these guys have. And let's welcome in James Kosick here on the John Mendola Show. And James, for you, another opportunity you guys are going to get next week, but let's soak up a little bit this district championship. A lot of emotions that you guys had the other day.
Oh, yeah, it was crazy, especially the venue. It's difficult shooting there, I felt like, but once we got the jitters out, we started to play well together. And ever since the beginning of the season, our goal was to get to the arena, so it was really great to finally get there for these guys, and just a great experience.
Talk about how the flow of the game went. Mid-Valley came in with a lot of wins. They were the favorite on paper. But what did you guys do to keep things in perspective? It was a low-scoring game.
Oh, yeah. Well, we knew coming out in the first quarter it was going to be different shooting there, and we knew how their guards play, but we also knew that we have the height advantage, so we looked to push it inside. And after that first quarter, it was obviously a low-scoring game, but after that first quarter, we started to push it inside, get it to our big men, and let them do the rest.
Talk about the development of Nick Prochak this year. Again, a young guy, and how he's getting better each and every game.
All right. Well, in the beginning, Nick used to start the game, but then he started to come off the bench as we went through the season, and he's been playing great as a bench player. He's given us a lot of energy off the bench, a lot of toughness, a lot of big. And even the rest of our bigs, J.D. Tarosky and Luke Nealon, they've all been doing great, working together, pushing each other at practice. And Nick Prochak has really come a long way from being just this little old sophomore.
And as far as your future, what's next for you?
I hope to possibly go to the University of Pittsburgh and study pre-med.
All right, so a pre-med guy working at the soup kitchen, volunteering today. Continued success, James, on and off the court, and what you're doing academically as well.
All right, yes, thank you.
All right, James Kozik this morning here from the Holy Redeemer Royals. We still got more Royals we're going to talk to with their head coach, Paul Guido. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. It's 10:47 here at WILK. Let's head out now to our local State Farm insurance agent, Frank Sirokatch break. Like a good neighbor, Frank Sirokatch is there. We'll be back here on WILK. Welcome back to the John Mendola Show here on WILK. 10:50 in the morning, continuing the conversation. The Holy Redeemer Royals live in studio with us, and Coach Guido. We got a bunch of guys we're going to get to here. Joey Judge will be first, and Coach, take us through Joey Judge and his skill set there for you.
Joey is our starting point guard. Definitely runs the team for us, and started last year as a sophomore, so this is his second straight year starting pretty much almost every game. I think there was a game or two last year that he missed when he was ill. Other than that, he's been pretty much steady Eddie for us at the point. We rely on him for a lot. Handle the ball, get us into our offensive sets, recognize different defenses that teams are playing, as well as oftentimes guarding one of the other team's better perimeter players, if not their best perimeter player. So great experience we've gotten out of him for the last 2 years. Like I said, his sophomore, and this is his junior year, and we get to ride him out for one more year next year as well.
All right, let's welcome in Joey Judge here on the John Mendola Show. And Joey, let's talk about this team this year, and going through the season. Talk about some things that you saw as far as the positives and the negatives, and things that Coach kind of said, okay, we got to work on this stuff, guys, as this year goes on.
It's been a great year this year for us, I think. In January, we haven't had we went down a little bit. We had a couple losses that were close. We could have played probably better in those games at the end. We just let them go at the end. And now we're starting to come on strong again, winning, I think, 7 in a row now or something, or 8 in a row. Our big men have been fabulous for us every single game. Jason hitting his threes, Kozik doing what he had to do, Colin, one of our better players on the team.
Overall, you talk about your role as the point guard. What does Coach say? Okay, here's what I want you to do when you're out there.
Make better shots for our perimeter players, get the ball to our big men, let them work down the side and get their points, and just play great defense on the defensive side.
How about for you, any other activities there at school other than basketball?
Not really. I might be doing track this year. That's really it.
All right. Well, congratulations on a District 2 championship.
Thank you.
All right, Joey Judge from Holy Redeemer, as we're up against the top of the hour, so we'll try to get a few more guys in here. Coach Colin Cook came up big the other night for you guys.
Did come up big for us the other night, John, in one big play and one big moment, but he's been coming up big for us pretty much all year. He was awarded by the other coaches in the conference first team, all conference, as a sophomore. Started off the year coming off the bench as our sixth man, but probably about the midway part of the season, my coaches and I kind of thought it's time to take that switcheroo and give him the opportunity with that starting role, and he has definitely flourished with those extra minutes.
All right, let's welcome in Colin Cook here on the show. Colin, welcome in, and everybody will remember that big block, but maybe nobody more than you. Talk about that instinct you had to block the shot the other night that sealed the deal for you guys.
Yeah, I just tried. I didn't want him to even get a chance to beat us. I mean, that'd be the worst feeling, to go out and, lose by 1 on a buzzer beater. I mean, I just went out as hard as I could, and I closed out. I didn't even think I was going to get the block at first, until it actually happened. And it was one of the best defensive plays I've ever made.
And your role this year, along with the other big guys that play there at Redeemer, we talked a little bit about the guards. What did you see out of your big guys this year?
They did really well. I mean, Nick Proshek, Luke Nealon, and JD all played fabulous whenever we need them to. I mean, Nick came up really big in the district final game, and he really played a great role.
And as far as opportunities for you going forward, is basketball your sport, or you play some other stuff too?
Basketball is my main sport, but I'm also playing baseball this year, so we'll see how that goes.
All right. Well, Holy Redeemer looking to do it last year. Did a pretty good job on the baseball field. Colin, congratulations on the big win. All right, Paul, we got a couple more to talk to. Luke Nealon, tell us a little bit about Luke.
Yeah, same thing with Luke. Another senior. A lot of leadership we get from him, and a lot of size, obviously, as well. Very accomplished, very successful volleyball player in his past. So big games, big environment. He's experienced in that role for sure. And we've kind of leaned on him for that steady leadership and consistency from him. And same thing with Luke. Came off the beginning of the season, was a little bit ill, struggled with a sickness in the beginning of the year. So when the season started game-wise, he was just kind of getting back to us with some minutes. So probably about halfway, maybe a quarter of the way into the season, we switched him up as well, and he started to get in that starting lineup and has given us great minutes there as well.
All right, let's welcome in Luke Nealon here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. And Luke, let's talk about this team and the camaraderie you have with your teammates this year.
Oh, for sure. We have a great group of guys. James Kozik, Jason, Colin, JD, Joey, Nick, a bunch of other guys. We all get along real good. Practice is always fun. We're always messing around, joking around with each other. We all just get along great.
As far as the game of basketball, what are your strengths out there when you're on the court? What are things that you feel you really contribute to this team?
A lot of size, presence inside, kind of try to alter, block as many shots as I can, rebound, defend. I think I could run the floor pretty well, get out in front of other teams' big men. Usually they're kind of slower, so try to get out in front of them. So,
overall, the difference that you guys thought you beat Mid-Valley, what was the difference to you?
I think our toughness really came out in that game towards the end. We showed that we're a good team, we're an experienced team, and when we got down in the fourth quarter, we just kind of tried to circle the wagons, bring it together, and we really showed that we're a good team.
All right, circle up you did. Congratulations, Luke.
Thank you.
All right, Paul Guido here on the John Mendola Show, the head coach. We got one more guy to talk about, Nick Prochak. He's a big one. He's an underclassman. Tell us a little bit about Nick.
Nick is a big boy, sophomore for sure. Adds a great part of you're gonna have to come over here, buddy. Adds a great part inside for us as well. He could use those, but he'll probably have to come over here. He does a great job for us, and again, academically, he's a great kid. Started off the season, like I said, start his role when Luke was a little bit ill, and then we kind of switched those two up, and Nick does a great job taking advantage of the minutes that he gets, and he has been very consistent, very good free throw shooter, doing a nice job finishing all his shots in the lane, and he's gotten a lot better defensively for us as the season has gone on as well.
All right, let's welcome in Nick Prochak here on the John Mendola Show. And Nick, you just keep growing. You're just, see you a couple of years ago, you're just this little guy looking up at your brother, looking up at your sister. You just keep growing and growing and growing. Talk about, growing as a basketball player as your height kept going with you.
I've been able to look up to my brother and sister since I was young, and I'm hoping that I could be as tall as my brother, and I've been able to watch them and see their inside presence in their games, so I just try to be like them inside.
And a backyard basketball court, I think you have, and I'm sure there's some good battles with the family there at home, right?
Oh yeah, we've had some crazy one-on-one battles.
As far as being there with your teammates and winning a district title, talk about some of these older guys that have kind of helped bring you along this year, and what's it been like for you to look up to them?
Well, it was a crazy experience. We have James Kozik, Jason Stachokis, Luke Nealon, all our seniors. They push us every day in practice, and we're always determined to get the win. And there are some games where we weren't finishing well at the end and executing well, and we always have our seniors to help push us to get the win.
How about personally for you, your development of your basketball game? What are things you're continuing to kind of work on to keep getting better here as a sophomore and hopefully have a big junior and senior season?
Well, I'm always working on my post moves, and I want to work on a jump shot, and actually I want to work on dribbling as well. So, like, if I get a rebound, I could push it up the floor, and maybe
pass it to someone who's cutting to the lane to get more buckets for us.
All right, Nick. Well, hey, congratulations on a real nice year and winning a district championship.
Thank you.
All right, and Coach Paul Guido, had fun with these guys today. Thanks so much for coming in. And girls are playing at noon today, so I'm sure you guys will get out and get after it.
Yes, sir, John. Thanks again for having us. And these guys are a great group. Like I said, we have a blast all year, and that's our next stop is up to root on our girls. So great luck to them today as well.
All right, the Holy Redeemer Royals here on the John Mendola Show. They are the District 2 champs. Congratulations to them as the Lady Royals will play Dunmore today for the District 2 championship. Kicks off a huge day today, 12 o'clock start. And, of course, Hazelton and Williamsport will play a little later into the night. Well, we thank you each and every week for joining us on the John Mendola Show. Follow us on Twitter at John Mendola Show. Online, thejohnmendolashow.com. From everybody here at WILK, we hope you have a super day. And please stay warm here from the John Mendola Show.